Hi everyone, welcome to the 10th update for Pendos Eyeshadows. If you don't know what Pendos Eyeshadows is, it is a project that was started by Alexi a few years ago, and as the title might suggest, the objective of it is to hit pan on eyeshadows. Different people do it differently. Everyone chooses the prompts or the rules that suit their makeup wearing or just panning journey, and the way that I like to do it is I randomly select eyeshadows from my whole collection and try to hit pan on them. It's pretty straightforward, but I still explain it every update just for whoever is new. So today's update is pretty good, so without any further ado, let's just get into it. As always though, before I get into the main subject of this video, I want to direct your attention to the description box of this video, in which I will have a number of organizations listed to which you could potentially donate if you would like to help with the war in Ukraine. I'm also going to add an extra link to a website that helps with medical aid towards people in Palestine. We live in a very politically scary world, which I guess it's something you could say about any time of human existence. But kindness is the only thing, and compassion are the only things that we have to make this world a better place. So if you do end up donating, thank you so much. It means the world. But other than that, let's just get into the makeup. Okay, so as always, I will start from the eyeshadow that's been in this project the longest to the one that was rolled in most recently. So currently, the oldest eyeshadow that I'm working on comes from this palette, which is Odin's Eye times Angelica Hella palette. So the shade that I've been working on from this palette is its namesake. So I don't remember exactly when I rolled it in. I want to say it was maybe 3 months ago, something like that. But since then I used it a total of 26 times, and here is what it's looking like today. Hope you can see it. There is finally a pan in it. Yeah, so we will be rolling this palette out. Here is a swatch of this eyeshadow. It's a very pretty bubblegum pink matte, and it makes for a beautiful blush. And I very much enjoyed using it, but I'm also very happy to be rolling it out, because sometimes things just, seeing one thing too many times, you get tired of it. At least that's how it works for me. So I'm very glad to be rolling this eyeshadow out. Yeah, I don't know what else to add. So let's just move on to the next eyeshadow. Alright, so the second oldest eyeshadow I'm currently working on comes from this palette, which is Baby Bad Beauty Nox. The eyeshadow that I have in this project from this palette is called Immortal, and I used Immortal a total of 13 times, and here is what it's looking like today. I hope you can tell there is a tiny, small, little pan in it, which I'm very happy about, and also quite surprised because I didn't expect these pans to be this shallow. I mean, would you say that is a shallow pan? Kind of, I feel like it is. I don't know. So yeah, we will be rolling this eyeshadow out too. Here is a messy swatch of it. It's just your average black matte. I mean, it's a pretty good one, but it's not like that crazy. It's a good eyeshadow. I mostly used it as for like eyeshadow liner purposes, which it works great. I'm trying to remember if I did any, I mean, at the end of my using it, I did do the thing that I mentioned in my previous videos where I just, in the evening when I'm about to wash off my makeup that I wear during the day, I just take an eyeshadow and put it everywhere just to get some use out of it. So I did that. So I guess that's what helped me to hit pan on it. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's just talk about eyeshadow number 3. So the third eyeshadow in my current lineup comes from this palette, which is Pure and Raw Beauty Quartz collab. The eyeshadow that I rolled in from this palette is called Camelot, and I've used it a total of 5 times. And here is what it's looking like today. Let me just cover the mirror real quick because I can't bend it. But here is Camelot over here. I hope you can see there is pan in it too, which is great. Yeah, so we have 3 pans so far. Pretty great, if you ask me. So here is a swatch of it. It's a very nice pigmented mustard yellow. It's very powdery though, which I'm sure aided me with hitting pan on it in just 5 uses. It's a very nice eyeshadow though, and that palette is pretty good quality if you don't mind your eyeshadows being a bit on a powdery side. So yeah, quite enjoyed working on it. Yeah, that's it for this eyeshadow, I guess. So let's move on to the next 2, which I'm pretty sure both were rolled in last update. Alright, so penultimate eyeshadow in my current color story comes from this big boy, which is ColourPop times Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. So the eyeshadow that I have rolled in last update from this palette is called Rose Quartz, right? Yes, Rose Quartz, and I used it a total of 11 times so far. And here is what it's looking like today. God, it's so difficult to show it with this huge palette, but it's this neutral over here. And there's no pan in it, as you can probably see, but there is a pretty good dip in it. I don't know if the camera can catch that, but I'm pretty sure by next update we'll have pan in it. So that's that. Let me just show you the swatch of it. It's a very nice pinky warm brown matte, as you can tell. I don't really have any complaints with this eyeshadow. I think it's very pretty, and although I do generally prefer more cool tone shades, and I mean this one, it's kind of cool toned, but it's still, if you blend it out, I guess you can see like over here, it kind of has this warmth to it, so it's not fully cool toned. If you build it up, it is, as you can see, like on the top part of the swatch. Oops, sorry. But yeah, so even though I do prefer more cool tone shades, I do quite like this one. I think it makes a very pretty kind of all over one shadow look. So that's basically it. I could have worn it today because that's what I'm basically wearing right now, but I used a different eyeshadow, which is more cool toned actually. So that's that. I think that's all I have to say about this eyeshadow. I will keep working on it until the next update, which is actually going to be the finale. So that's that. But all that aside, let's just talk about the final eyeshadow in my current color story. And finally, the last eyeshadow in my current lineup comes from my newly rolled in focus palette, which is Meet Matrimony by The Balm. So eyeshadow that I ended up working on this month actually is not the one that I rolled it in, that I rolled in, because I got a bit confused with my spreadsheets and my counting, because there are a few shades from this palette that already have pan in them, and so I, instead of not counting them towards like the total number of eyeshadows, I did do that. All this to say, I've been working on eyeshadow that I didn't actually roll in, but I decided not to change it to the actual roll-in because I already used it a couple times and I didn't want to lose that usage time, or however you want to say it. But yeah, all this rambling aside, the eyeshadow that I've been working on from this palette is called Matt Thomas, and I used it a total of 8 times this month, and here is what it's looking like today. So as you can see, there's no pan in it, but there is a bit of a dip starting to form. That being said, I don't really think I'll be able to hit pan on this eyeshadow by the end of this project, but it's fine by me as long as I get use out of it, because this palette is very old, as I mentioned last update, and it'd be good to get my use out of it and potentially use all these eyeshadows up. So yeah, any use to me is great. Here is a swatch of it real quick. It's a very cute little pastel pink matte, and I did enjoy using it quite a lot. It's interesting, I had quite a few pinks this year. As far as I remember, like the one from my previous focus palette, I also had a pink. Not that much different from this one. And then also Hella, and I can't remember, were there any other ones? Well, anyway, so yeah, this palette, or rather this eyeshadow, will be staying in until the finale. But now we can finally move on to my favorite part of these videos, which is rolling in new eyeshadows to replace the ones that I have hit pan on, which would be the ones from these 3 palettes. All right, I have my Pretty Random app open, so let's just roll in 3 numbers. And as always, if I do end up rolling in something that already has pan in it, I will re-roll, obviously. Okay, so the first number we have is 1122. The next one will be 629, and the last one 637. Okay, I'm gonna go see what these eyeshadows are, and if none of them have pan in them, I will share them with you in just a moment. Okay, so I'm back with my 3 new eyeshadows, so let me just show you them. I actually don't know what any of them are, which is fun. I like a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, so the first one I rolled in is in my spreadsheet under the number 1122, and it comes from this palette, which is called I Pinky Promise. I as in I. And it's by Violet Was. I've never used this palette ever since I got it for free with my Violet Was order like a year ago. So yeah, we're off to a great start. But the eyeshadow from this palette that I rolled in is called Forever Golden, which I would assume is the gold shimmer. So let's just see. Yes, it is. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to using this. I don't really like warm neutrals, but I think I can figure something out. Yeah. So that's our first eyeshadow. And the next two actually come from the same palette, which is this thing, BH Naughty palette, which is also pretty old, but is one that I actually used, the bare minimum. So the two eyeshadows that I rolled in from this palette, one is called Decked Out under the number 629, and the other one is Very Merry from Very Merry under the number 637. So let's just see what they are. Okay, Decked Out. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so Decked Out is actually this kind of bronzy shimmer over here. So kind of similar to, what's it called? Forever Golden, but I'll have to swatch them to see for sure. And Very Merry is this kind of sagey green metallic. So we have a full-on shimmer roll in, if that makes any sense, which is pretty different from the all matte color story I had for October. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, I can't wait to swatch them all out to see what my new color story will look like. So I'm just gonna go do that off camera, and then I'm going to be back and show you the new color story and yeah, compare it to the old one and so on and so forth. Alright, so I swatched out all the eyeshadows, and actually our new color story is incredibly cohesive, so let me just show you it. Isn't that like a perfect 5-pan little eyeshadow palette if it were one? Not exactly what I like, but I can't deny that it all looks like it was meant to be together. So yeah, let me just remind you the names of all the eyeshadows. So here at the top we have Rose Quartz from the ColourPop Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. Right below it is Matt Thomas. Yes, Matt Thomas from Meet Matrimony by The Balm. The third eyeshadow is Forever Golden by Violet Was from their eyeshadow palette called I Pinky Promise. Right under it is Decked Out from BH Naughty, and also from BH Naughty we have Very Merry. So there is a lot of super easy looks that I could see in this color story, like using rose quartz as like a transition shade, or like put it in your crease and lower lash line and then putting either one of these shimmers on the lid and either one of these two on the inner corner for some pop of color, or also use these as lid colors. Or yeah, it's a very easy color story. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Here it is in comparison to the old one. And the new one definitely feels less like some random selection of colors. And also these two, Decked Out and Forever Golden, is that what it's called? Yes. They are not that similar. I mean, Forever Golden is clearly more yellowy, and Decked Out, I would say, it's kind of has a similar tone as Rose Quartz, which is pretty nice. So yeah, pretty good roll-ins. I don't know how I'm gonna use them just yet, because I'm not really into that kind of eyeshadow formula anymore, wearing like a matte in my crease and lower lash line and a shimmer on the lid, at least not for like daily or day-to-day wear. So yeah, I'll figure something out. So yeah, these were our new eyeshadows, and now I'm just going to move on to talking about my goals for the next month and also for the year, which the year is already coming to an end. So yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it is what it is. Whatever, let's just get into the goals. Okay, so as always, I will start with my yearly goals and then I will talk about the goals for the next month. So if you're not familiar, my goal for this year is to have 100 pens in my entire collection, and as of right now I have 91, so 9 more pens to hit until the end of this year, which is not too bad, but I don't know if I can do it within the confines of this project. I might, because I want to finish this project like a month earlier, so I don't know if I'll be able to hit 9 pans until the end of November, which is when I plan to film my finale. So yeah, but I might be able to hit the extra few pans that I need during the December when I'm not actually filming, but I don't know, who knows. So that's that for the yearly goals. And for the next month, I honestly, the only eyeshadow that I'm sure I'll be able to hit pan on is Rose Quartz, because I have a pretty good dip going in it. But other than that, I don't know. I might be able to hit pan on either of these shimmers. Not so sure about Matte Thomas because it's pretty hard pressed and also relatively deep. So I don't think I'll be able to hit pan on it, but these shimmers, I might. We'll see how it goes. So this is basically it for this update. So let's just wrap things up and I will finally let you go to do whatever you're planning to do for the rest of your day or night, whenever you're watching this. Alright, so that was it for our final update of Pen Those Eyeshadows 2023. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're treating yourself with kindness, all the good things. So yeah, take care. Bye.